Hey y'all, it's y'all favorite cozy girl, and I am here to start my first episode talking about Survivor season 44. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Ever since the pandemic started and I started watching Survivor, I felt like I needed an outlet to discuss the show. So since I started an outlet talking about reality TV, I was like, duh, Survivor. So here I am to include it. I'm a little late on these episodes, but I'm gonna get through the first 4 episodes pretty quickly. Not just in this video, but I'll separate them out, but they'll just be a little bit quicker since I'm behind, at least the first 3. So this season started obviously in Fiji, I believe. There's 3 teams: Tika in purple, Ratu in orange, and Soka in green. Tika has Carson, Carolyn, Yan Yam, Jam Jam. I'm actually not exactly sure how to pronounce it because it's spelled Y-A-M-Y-A-M, but it sounds like they're saying Jam Jam. So I feel like I'm missing something. There's Sarah, there's Helen, and there's Bruce. Ratu has Jamie, Brandon, Lauren, Maddie, Kane, and Matthew. And then Soka has Danny, Josh, Claire, Heidi, Matt, and Franny. These are just quick names, so I can use them. I'll explain them more. See, the funny thing about Survivor is it starts out every season with about 18 people. I think sometimes they've done 20. And what's crazy is there are people you will literally not even see do a confessional for like 4 episodes. And then all of a sudden, here they come. They're at the center of the show. And you're like, wait, I actually didn't even remember this person. And that's what actually happened here too. So on the first episode, when they start out, they have to do a challenge to see who gets their flint and everything just off the bat from Jeff. And so they're going through, and Bruce on Tika goes and hits his head because they have to go under this little bar thing, hits his head, gashes it open, bleeding, all types of stuff. Now, I don't know if it was because he was muddy and maybe production and medical thought that that's why so much stuff was leaking, but brother was leaking, like just blood everywhere. I was like, oh, he needs medical. And I mean, Jeff asked him like, Bruce, you good? And he was like, yeah. And I know adrenaline has him like hype, but it's like, no, sir, you're not good. You are not good at all. But he definitely thought he was good. And so they're there doing the competition, and all of a sudden he just passes out, and he's like, just like, stop, everybody stop. Like, medical comes in, checks him out, and they're like, oh, it's just adrenaline that had him so hyped up, even though he was hurt, but he's fine. And, they bandage his head. They start the competition again. Let me tell you what, I knew immediately Brother Man was not good. I knew it. In that moment, I said, he's not good. He's not. I knew it. I felt it in my spirit. I said, he is not good. But they continued on. Like I said, people are excited. They want to stay, even if they're hurt. So you're trying to muscle through it. So I get it. So then Soka wins that challenge, I believe. And Ratu comes in second place. So what happens is now Ratu has to decide if Tika has to do a physical challenge to get their flint, or if they have to do a mental challenge. Now, the people on Ratu, they must have not thought they were smart. But Brandon and I think Matthew were like, we're strong. And we can, I think, was it Matthew or was it the other guy? I can't remember which guy it was that Brandon did it with. I just remember Matthew. I just remember Brandon. But they were like, we know for a fact that we can carry these coconuts. It was a lot. But sometimes when you feel like, oh, I play sports, because I guess Brandon played for the Seahawks for 3 seasons. And so he's like, I'm buff, I can do this, it's no big deal. So I guess when you play sports, sometimes you overthink your strength, right? And he was overthinking his strength. But he was like, let's just do the strength and give them the brains one, because you only get one guess and they don't even know what the puzzle is. Like, you just have to do it. So you don't even know what it is. You're just like, okay. So they decided to go with strength, and then they gave Tika the puzzle. So they go and they're carrying these coconuts back and forth, and about an hour and a half in, they're like, oh, not me, fuck up. They were like, that's, excuse my language, but they were like, this is way heavier than we thought, and we are way more tired, and we are dragging way more than we thought we ever would, which is funny because it's like that. I have not seen a season where that physical challenge didn't just take them out. And Tika, who got the, the mental challenge, they had Helen do it, and I think Carson. So Helen and Carson were the two that had to figure it out. Carson is like extremely smart, but he doesn't want people to know that. I think he works for NASA or did an internship with NASA or whatever. So him and Helen literally looked at it. And I mean, obviously you only have one guest, so you want to be sure. But even the way that their mind processed counting the rings, because they had to count how many like rings were in like this cylindrical thing, was smart. Like you could tell they were smart right off the bat, just how they did it. And they were able to get it. And they got their flint before the other group got their flint, because the brain one is always quicker if you're smart, right? If you're smart, it's always quicker. All of the groups are going around looking for idols, looking for palm fronds and all that stuff. And they find this bird cage that has an idol sitting right in the middle, but there's no key. So this is interesting to me that they did the idol like this, because, you know, for the past couple seasons, they had beware advantages. So we actually don't know what type of idol this is. Is it a regular idol? Excuse me, is it a beware advantage? Whatever. We just see a bird cage with something in the center. Now, the crazy part about it is whoever gets it, obviously, that bird cage is going to be sitting there and it's going to be empty. So I was just like, how are they going to do this? This is silly. Why are they, you know, Jeff, come on now. You could have done better, but who knows? Anyway, so, Tika, no, not Tika. Ratu is going around, and Brandon, he's looking with Maddie. He finds the key. Now, he tries to stuff it down his pants. So he tries to hide it in his pants, but he thinks that Maddie sees him. So he's like, you know, I could try and be suspicious, and she could go back and tell everybody that she thinks I found it and it's suspicious. Or I could come out and just tell her that I found it. And so Brandon does what I think is the smart thing and goes, you know, Maddie, I found the key, right? Because if you already think someone thinks you have it, then there's no point in trying to pretend. So he was like, yeah, I found the key. She was like, oh my God, let's not tell anybody. And he said, okay. So he's like, you sneaky B word, because I wasn't going to tell anybody. But the fact that I told you and we were all looking as a group and you don't want me to tell anybody, now I'm suspicious of you, which he was right to be, okay? So that's good to know. It seems like he's a little bit smarter than a lot of people that come on this show. So then he goes back, he tells the group, he's honest, he's upfront, and he knows it's going to put a target on his back, but he's like, you know what? Whatever. I'm just going to be honest about this. So then somebody comes on the boat and says one person has to go, you know, do like a little trek. Lauren, Matt, and Sarah go. Now, the funny thing about Lauren is Lauren's like, oh, let's pick rocks. She goes and picks rocks and says, oh, the gray rock will be the rock that goes. And because she picked the rock, she knew it was. So she pretty much rigged the game to make sure that she goes. Smart, but not too smart. She's smart, but she's not that smart. Anyway, so they go and they do the thing where they can either play and lose a vote or gain an advantage or whatever. So Matt loses the ability to vote twice because he's a dummy. What's it called? Sarah loses her ability to vote, but she gains an advantage. And Lauren gains an extra vote advantage. So she picked the right thing from the first time. She never had to go twice. So she was good. When they come back, Matt and Sarah both come back immediately and are like, oh, we lost our ability to vote. And Sarah brought her little slip that says she lost her ability to vote, which actually ended up working in her favor, because if you tell your team that you lost the ability to vote and you have the slip, then they'll believe you, right? They won't ask for any more. They won't ask if you got an advantage as well, because that doesn't seem like something that would happen because it hasn't happened in the past. So she was good. Lauren comes back and she tells her team she lost the ability to vote, but she don't have no evidence. She just says it. And her story doesn't even sound good. It sounds shaky. But the truth is her advantage tells her if she doesn't vote in that first vote, then she gets another vote. Now, if I were her, no matter what anybody was talking about, I'm not voting in that first vote. I'm not even going to discuss the idea of voting if it comes up because I don't want people to know that I was lying. But she wasn't slick. Baby girl wasn't slick at all. So then they go to their challenge. Claire sits out for Soka, and when she's sitting out, and I forgot, stupid. I'm getting too excited. Stupid Matt. Actually, so Tika, Bruce, in the middle of the night, they go to bed. See, I already moved on. Bruce it was the middle of the night, they're laying there, everybody's chilling, and Bruce literally is sick. They found out he's hella sick and he has to go home. So now Bruce is out of the game. So Tika is down a member, right? So then in the next group, Ratu, Matthew's so excited to be out in Fiji and playing Survivor. This fool goes and decides he wants to go climb a rock and comes falling down. Literally scrapes his leg, dislocates his shoulder. I'm like, you're a dummy. Because why would you do that? I feel like people be coming on that show taking unnecessary risks. You already not about to eat for 26 days. You already putting your body through a grueling challenge. Why are you climbing rocks? Is everything okay? Everything cannot be okay. I already know that. Everything is not okay. Okay? So he falls off. He's injured. Now they got to go to this challenge and he has to sit out because he's on one arm. And Claire also sits out from Soka. Now they all have somebody sitting out because Bruce is already gone because Bruce hurt himself in the very first challenge and they sent him home. This is the second time in seasons back to back where somebody leaves on the first night before anything even really gets started. Sad, but it's a whatever. Anyways, so Claire is sitting on the side with Matthew and she goes, hey, your person that went off, did they show you the slip of what happened? And she was like, no. She goes, well, our girl did. So your girl must be lying. Claire, why don't you mind your business? Okay. That's what you should have done. You should have sat there and ate your food because why are you telling him about another, why are you trying to build a camaraderie with someone so early? This is day 3. You don't know these people. You don't have to tell Matt nothing. Yes, I know it's good to build bonds when it comes to the merge, but you're not there yet. Baby girl, you don't even know if you're going to make the merge. So you should probably sit down, shut up, just be friendly, normal friendly. Don't try to put anybody under the bus because if that person finds out, they could, if they get to the merge, might, cause you some problems. So, they're over there doing the challenge and all of a sudden Brandon passes out. I said, okay, how many people are going to get hurt in the first hour and 15 minutes of the show? We can't even get to the end without people getting injured. So I was seriously if one more person gets hurt before this episode ends, they might have to cancel the whole season. Oh, okay. Look who came to visit. So anyways, he ends up being fine. They have to stop the game, but they, start again. Unfortunately, Tika loses. I think Soka wins and Ratu comes in second, which is fine because, both teams get immunity. Only the last team doesn't. And so now Soka wins and Tika wins as well. So Ratu, Brandon's team, who just passed out, is now going to, what's it called? Why am I blanking on what it's called? But they're going to go see Jeff to do elimination, basically. So what's funny is because of what Claire told Matthew at the challenge, everybody's like, all right, cool. We're just going to vote Lauren out because she lied to us when she came back. And so it's oh, crap. I actually kind of liked Lauren. I did not want her to go home this quickly. Plus, she presents as Black. And I have a feeling, and I have always felt, that they always send Black women home way too early in Survivor. And I feel if you ever watched, I forgot what season number it was, but with Francesca, she went home twice first. And it always, like I said, it's either a woman or it's a woman of color. And I'm just tired of that. So I was come on, Lauren, why did you lie? And then they're talking about voting and you're talking about who you're going to vote for. You told these people you lost your vote. Now you talk about who you're going to vote for. It's giving, I didn't think it through. You didn't think it through. You just doing whatever. So that was upsetting. And so then all of a sudden, Maddie decides to say, hey, Brandon thinks he's protected and he has that idol. Let's just vote him out so we can flush it. Now it went from Lauren to Brandon. And I'm like, oh, not another black person? Come on now. But, you know, at the same time, it was like, okay, I mean, at least it's not Lauren. But I was like, dang, like, you're sneaky, Maddie, because he went against you and actually, you know, told the group, like, you want him gone. And so Maddie thought she was smart. She got the other guy on their team, what's his name? Kane on his side. She was on her side. She's like, come on, let's do it. Let's just get rid of him. And Matthew was like, well, I don't know. And then they asked Jamie, and Jamie was like, oh, I'm so stressed. I feel like you guys are going to turn it on me and yada, 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 yada. And I'm like, okay, girl, this is chaos, because why do you feel like they're going to turn it on you? And, you know, you're not there, so you don't really feel the stress of the moment, because it just seems so random that she felt that way. But, you know, you don't know. So they get to tribal council. That's what it's called. They get to tribal council. They get the fire. Everybody's talking, whatever. And mind you, Maddie has convinced Kane and supposedly Matt. And Jamie's like, well, hey guys, standing up. I'm using my shot in the dark. So whatever happens, whatever. If y'all doing what y'all said y'all gonna do, then we gonna find out. But I'm using my shot in the dark, and I don't care about none of y'all. Matt was like, well, I'm also gonna use my shot in the dark. Why are you using your shot in the dark? But at the same time, this new shot in the dark that people just use and they lose their vote is actually kind of what I don't think it's important, because a lot of people didn't use it correctly in the past seasons, or they used it and it's a shot in the dark, and a lot of them are not safe. So they still got voted out. So I was just like, whatever, use it whenever you want. First episode, last episode, that shot in the dark is pretty useless to me. But anyways, so Jamie uses her shot in the dark. Matthew uses his shot in the dark. Lauren doesn't have a vote if she wants to get the advantage. And so the only people voting are Brandon, Maddie, and Kane. They go, they vote. Jeff comes back. He's like, everybody has an advantage and they want to use it. Please speak now. Brandon's like, you know, y'all saw me get it, so I might as well use it. And he uses his immunity idol. It's true immunity idol. He says, okay. He goes, and then Jeff opens the thing to read the votes. One vote Brandon, doesn't count. Second vote Brandon, doesn't count. And the only person to be voted out with one vote is Maddie. Brandon was so on point to not trust that girl when she did what she did. And she went home after thinking that she was going to mastermind the greatest blindside. And Brandon did a single-handed blindside on his own. And honestly, this was probably one of the best first episodes. It was so much chaos from start to finish that I don't even think my recap is doing it justice. And I think you should actually go watch it yourself if you haven't. Like, it was so insane to me. Like, for a first episode, like, right? Like, somebody gets hurt. 2 people got hurt. Then another person got hurt. Then someone was taken from the game. And somebody else almost got taken from the game. It was just crazy. So, if this is any indication of how this season is going to go, I, for one, am excited. I don't know who I want to win. Usually I have predictions of who I want by the first episode, but I've realized I don't like to make those predictions anymore until episode 3 or 4, because we don't even get to know all the characters, like I mentioned before. But yeah, so I'm excited for this season. You guys come back if you want to continue seeing my recaps. Let me know. Like, comment, share. Tell me what you think, what you believe, what you saw, what I missed. I want to hear it all because I love Survivor. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.